Hey everyone, this is Exploring Fiction, and welcome back to another video. So recently, I've been seeing a ton of videos about the new Amazon Rings of Power TV show, as I'm sure you all have, and they've all gotten me thinking about what my opinion of the whole thing is. Hey, before we get to the video, check this out. 99% of my viewers are not subscribed. If you're a part of that 99%, please consider subscribing, as I would love to have you here. Anyway, let's get back to the video. So, now let's get into it. Like I said, I've been seeing a ton of videos about this recently, specifically from people like Just Some Guy, your boy Zach, Geeks and Gamers, and I just wanted to give my input on this. And I've been reading through their comment sections as well. So if my ideas sound similar, it might be because reading some of the comments below their videos really got me thinking and got this whole idea for this video started. So the reason I think so many people are up in arms so heavily about Middle Earth and Tolkien's creation is because it was the creation of one man, Tolkien himself. So the Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit, all of Middle Earth is a creation of just J.R.R. Tolkien himself. Of course, it was looked after intently by his son Christopher Tolkien, and the adaptations for the movies The Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit were made by Peter Jackson and co. But really, the Lord of the Rings cinematic trilogy is a masterpiece, but if you look at it, they didn't really add anything of their own making. They just subtracted things or changed things with characters and plot points that were already in the story to begin with. And of course, you can say, well, what about the forced romance in the Hobbit trilogy between Kili and Tauriel? And what I will say to that is one of the universally worst parts of the Hobbit trilogy, because it was something that Tolkien did not have in his original work. It was just added for the movie, and it's pretty much universally hated or at least disliked. And also, guys, let me just say, I would put myself a little more than a Tolkien normie. I read The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings multiple times, though I have not yet read The Silmarillion. It's sitting on my shelf, waiting to be read. So, I'm not one of these hardcore Tolkien Middle-earth fans, but it really was the main inspiration, along with Paolini's Inheritance Cycle, for my love for fantasy and writing in general. So I'm also one of the passionate fans in this whole Rings of Power debate. And so, the significance with Tolkien being a one man creator of this show is that, yes, while something like Star Wars was created by George Lucas, he had a lot of help in many aspects. And he took a lot of creative liberties from other established works. The whole idea of Middle Earth being Tolkien's creation is that he laid down the law about everything. It all came from his singular mind, and it was built up over time. And literally, everything was explored by him. And if it wasn't explored, then it didn't happen. And that's another thing that's significant about this whole thing, is that deviations from the story and characters that Tolkien created are deviations from the lore, as he created the entire lore, and if he didn't write it, then it just didn't happen in his world. So of course we knew that once Christopher Tolkien sadly passed, Amazon would do something like this, and sure enough, their diversity hires and backwards treatment of established characters is already evident. Now you can dive deeper into all this with specifically Just Some Guy's video on it. I'll link it in the description because he's more of a hardcore fan than I am. But still, you can tell even with a surface look at the whole thing. First of all, also the trailer just looks so generic and CGI fest. I won't even get into that more. And it's not. And the whole thing is, it's not like there's not room for diverse casting in Middle Earth. There are a bunch of nations and peoples outside of what is looked at in the Lord of the Rings and Hobbit movies and books that are specifically said to be much different from all the characters and cultures we're focusing on. So if they wanted to do a show about those characters and those peoples and those cultures, it would probably be a lot more widely accepted. But here we are, they're doing their usual race baiting, race swapping, gender swapping, and this time it doesn't look like it's going over well. And that is truly a testament to how powerful the Middle Earth fandom is and the Tolkien fandom. And their stand and uproar against this garbage show so far has, I think, really has the potential to be some sort of turning point in this whole thing. So, what are my thoughts on the Rings of Power TV show by Amazon? Of course, I think it looks terrible. It looks like the people at Amazon are just using the name of Middle Earth and Lord of the Rings to get money, and it looks like they're just trying to dunk on you as fans and go against everything Tolkien wrote and stood for the sake of money. So, I would obviously advise against watching this show. I know I have no interest in it. I had no interest in it from the beginning. The moment I heard that Amazon had this in the works, I was not excited one bit because I knew about the history of big companies with our beloved franchises, and they're doing exactly what I expected. And so, I am not going anywhere near this. And guys, if you are cautiously optimistic, as they say, at most I would give it one episode. But honestly, from the looks of it, this seems to be universally despised among almost everyone. And so I think this is going to be the biggest disaster of the SJW era, but it also has the chance to be the biggest turnaround for us, the people who just want to see faithful and respectful works set in the franchises and worlds we love. So guys, what'd you think about this video? Leave a comment to let me know. Like if you enjoyed, and subscribe if you're new here. I would love to have you. And like always, I'll see you next time.